Welcome to our series, Be Unconventional. The extraordinary women that are part of these featurettes all have a few things in common. They harness their passions, create meaningful opportunities, and are resilient to the core. Meet Chriselle Lim, a digital entrepreneur. In the early days of YouTube, she started posting style tutorials on the site and began to grow a following. Her authentic voice and cool vibe led her to found what is now known as the Chriselle Factor. Today, she employs a staff of 13 people at her office to create social content for her combined 3.2 million followers. She also has a fashion line with Nordstrom's and many other ventures in the works. Learn about Chriselle and her path to success as a global digital influencer and fashion maven.
My name is Chriselle Lim, and I'm the founder of Chriselle Inc. I'm a digital entrepreneur, and I really got my start right out of college. I was studying fashion, and I was just looking for something interesting to do. I was in styling. That's what I was doing at the time. I was stylist for a local magazine called Gen Lux, and I just saw this really big kind of shift happening in the digital space. This is literally before Instagram. I think Twitter just started, and YouTube, people were uploading YouTube videos. So I just saw a really interesting opportunity there, because me coming from the editorial world, I understood that people wanted content. They want to consume content of some sort. There was really no one doing content for people my age. It was either for way older people or for way younger, so like the teens or the kids. So I just started creating content for myself and my peers, just fashion videos, things like tying a scarf, how to tie a scarf, how to apply your makeup, your skincare, what boots you need for the fashion season. And I think this was about 8 years ago, and it just really took off from there because no one was in that space doing that kind of content at the time. So I was really in the right space at the right time. I wish I could say I had like a magic, a secret sauce, but I think the secret really was me just willing to take the time to learn every job, from the filming side to the editing side to styling, to pulling clothes, to talking to PR people. Like, I didn't know that was the whole process, but along the way, I realized that these are all the things I need to know to get to where I want to be. As I was growing as a YouTuber and learning how to create videos, I soon learned that in order for me to have the best videos, because I've always been very competitive, like I needed the best videos and the best content, I knew that I wasn't that person, because I knew I could learn the basic skill. But for me, I always knew I needed to find someone that was a pro at it and that was really great at that specific job. So I think I was smart enough back then, even though I was very young, to realize that I couldn't do it all on my own. And so I slowly started to build this team of mine without making it a business. It was just like a team that was helping me to create cool videos at the time. And then organically it just grew into an official team where I thought, I think it was maybe in 2012, I stepped back and I'm like, okay, I think I might need an office now. I have 4 people that are essentially working for me full time. Maybe I should just go get an office. And that's when I was like, maybe I should turn this into a business. So it just happened one step at a time. And now Chriselle Inc. is my, I guess you can call it the umbrella company within all the little different businesses that I do. You have to offer something unique and different. There's a lot of sameness happening right now. And so what I like to do is I don't even like to look at what other people are doing. I like to go with what I just feel excited about for the day. Sometimes I won't even post up my outfit because I guess technically I'm supposed to do that because I'm a fashion blogger per se. But now I'm just if I don't feel moved by it, why do I have to do that? If I don't love my outfit, why would I have to post that? So it's more about what moves me for the day. Obviously I'm a mom, so I show a lot of kind of my struggles during motherhood, this postpartum period. And what I realize is that people love the realness and just the authenticity. because I am a mom now and I have a family at home, I've also learned to just completely go radio silent sometimes on social media and just be okay with that, because your family needs you, and it's okay if your social media followers don't see you for a while, because once you're really truly living your life and you kind of break away from social media and step back in, that's when you actually feel more inspired to post and talk about things and tell your followers about the things that you've experienced. So I think it's really important to disconnect, which is so kind of weird for me to say because this is my business. Social media is my business. But yeah, that's one thing that bothers me. But I think I got to like a hold of figuring out how I could fix it. One of the unconventional mantras that I live by is, although everyone preaches about doing what you love, because that is very important, and I fully believe in everybody chasing after and figuring out what it is that you love, I think you also have to be a realist at the same time as well. And it's kind of unconventional for me to say that, as I am living my dream now and I have this business that I've always dreamt of having. But one thing that I always remember my parents saying is like, if you're gonna go for it, you better think of like those rainy days, because if you don't have anything saved, or if you don't have anything that is gonna give you that cushion, then all of a sudden this dream will be very fleeting and it'll be hard to grasp. So I really am very thankful for my parents. I didn't want to hear that from them at the time, but I truly understand that now, just because there were days when I was building my business where I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it and if I had to like go get a regular 9-to-5 job. But because of my parents, I did save a good amount of money, and it helped me to kind of, I had to put a timeline on myself. So even though I wish I could say, go chase your dreams, just do what you love, you also have to really think about the flip side of like, how are you going to do what you love to do, and how are you going to get there? And if it means that you have to have a part-time job to like fuel you to get to where you love, I'm all for that. Like, you have to have a roadmap, and not just like jump in with your eyes closed and hoping that something's going to happen. I think it's very important to have it written down somewhere of like where your goals are for the next 3 months to 6 months. For myself, I gave myself a full year to start this business, and that kind of deadline put the fire that I needed to have. So I launched my very first standalone collection called Chriselle Lim, my name, just 2 seasons ago with Nordstrom, and it all came from a collaboration that I did with, it was a capsule collection with the brand, and it was exclusively sold at Nordstrom. And I've never come out with product, I've never done a collaboration where my followers can actually tangibly buy anything from me. So it was a huge success. So Nordstrom obviously saw the excitement from my followers and how well the collection did. So immediately right afterwards, we started discussing continuing the partnership somehow, but not in a capsule way. So in more of like my own collection. And when I heard that, I was just floored. Like, I couldn't believe it. For me, I just love reading biographies on people, on women that I look up to, CEOs that I admire from afar, and I just started to learn about them. And in a way, they became my mentors without actually having to have that direct relationship and connection. But nowadays, it's so different, because if you want access to someone, you could have something like this. You could watch a video on YouTube, or go online and find out more information about them. And there's just so much more access now to mentors, because I became friends with a few of the women that I really look up to, whether it be Rebecca Minkoff or Jessica Alba. They become my friends, and if I have a question, I could just text them now and say, hey, what do you think about this? Like, is this a smart move or whatnot? But yeah, that is the power of the internet. So the internet has made the world a lot smaller.